Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a SEC report so exciting it might keep you awake longer than a shareholder meeting. Unless you're a nerd for finance, then it might actually make you fall asleep. Today we're decoding a Form 8K filing which basically reveals some key decisions made at a recent annual meeting. We'll break down who got elected, what proposals passed, and what it all means for the future of this company and your investments. Before we jump in, if you are excited to understand the real story through SEC reports, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Join the discussion. A Form 8K is basically a corporate update. It's what companies use to announce something important happened. Think of it as a business's version of a news bulletin. Now, the first thing to note is that this report originated around June of 2025. This report is regarding the annual meeting of stockholders. Basically, once a year, folks who own a piece of the company get together and make important decisions like electing board members and approving big plans. The PAVmed Inc. annual meeting happened on June 18th, 2025. And what's interesting is that a big chunk of shareholders showed up to vote. About 77.2% of all the shares that could be voted were represented either in person or by proxy, which is like sending someone to vote for you. So right off the bat, we know there was pretty high engagement with this meeting. One of the main things to do at annual meetings is to elect directors to the board. Think of the board as the company's leadership team, and at this meeting, 2 directors of the company's board were voted on. The board is divided into 3 classes. At this annual meeting, 2 directors from Class C were up for re-election. Those 2 were Dr. Lishan Aklog and Michael J. Glennon. Both Dr. Aklog and Mr. Glennon had good news, which is that they were both re-elected for the job. Nothing crazy here, they had the backing of the board. Here we see the tallies. For Dr. Aklog, it was 753 6061 votes for, with 2,758 votes withheld, and 5,324,433,902 broken non-votes. And for Mr. Glennon, 724,433 withheld to be seen as a no vote it. What does this mean for is straightforward. It means, yes, let's elect this person. Authority withheld can be seen as a no vote. It's the shareholder saying, I don't like this person. Broker non-votes are when brokers holding shares for clients don't vote withheld. Can be seen as a no vote. It's the shareholder saying, I don't like this person. Broker non-votes are when brokers holding shares for clients don't vote on certain issues. It's worth noting that you always want to look at the ratio. A 2 thumbs up for votes were a lot more than any withheld one, so both folks were re-elected without much competition. Next up was a proposal basically asking shareholders if they were okay with the company selling new shares of stock. The reason they had to ask is because of rules from the stock market, NASDAQ. To do this, the company would use something called pre-funded warrants. Think of a warrant as an option to buy shares later at a set price. This proposal was approved, but let's check the numbers. So we see 4,653 5T95 votes for 27. 1937 against 100,709,709,323,902, 27 abstaining, and 5,323,902 broker non-votes. The 4 votes clearly won, but the interesting thing is the number of abstained votes at 1.7 million. That means folks didn't care enough to vote even when present. The next plan was about the company's long-term incentive equity plan. These equity plans are often used to compensate employees as basically bonuses for great work. So in this proposal, shareholders are voting to increase the number of shares that can be used for this plan, and the company wanted to add 2,000 shares. Let's check the result. The proposal ended up being approved in June of 2025. It's a similar story to the last proposal. 6,356,699, 400,165,565,565,575,509,000, 75,146. Proposal got a lot less no votes and more yes votes, and therefore got approved. If you want to learn more about all these plans mentioned, you can check the definitive proxy statement, which is basically a document every company must have that explains all the proposals and other boring stuff in detail. The next proposal was regarding the compensation of the company's top dogs, also known as executive pay. They were looking for advisor approval on how much they were paying the principal executive officer. How does that look? Same as before, the people voted for 114,007 against 379,014 and 1,738,498 abstaining. It's worth noting that there's the same 5,323,902, 20,923, 1,902 broker non-votes. So most people are saying find what management is getting paid. The last piece of business was about something called the independent registered certified public accounting firm, which are like external auditors. They basically check the company's paperwork and make sure everything is correct. In this case, it was about the firm Markham LLP. This passed in a big way. 14,443, 41, 14, 15, 1,004 for 348 against, with only 25,589 abstaining. Seems shareholders were happy with old Markham. And wrapping up every SEC report is always the exhibits, pretty standard. You will see legal documents like the agreements we saw, and sometimes things like interactive data files for computers, but they aren't that crucial for the common folk. Now, looking at these results more broadly, PAVmed seems to have a pretty smooth sailing annual meeting in June of 2025. Their board members, Dr. Akolog and Mr. Glennon, got voted in without too much sweat, plus key proposals like the additional issuance of stock to compensate the employees, which is a great move. Overall, the message is pretty simple. Everything is running pretty smooth within the company. Alright, that's our breakdown of PAVmed's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.